Let's talk about the basics of a telemarketing sales script. A subheadline would be Ultimate Guide to Selling Speaking Over the Telephone. Fact of the matter is, my company, which is naaip.org, we deal with over 12,000 insurance agents. People need to make money. I feel a personal responsibility to walk you through exactly what you need to do. Let's delve into this particular subject, the basics of a telemarketing sales script. This is not rocket science. There are people making money on this. We've all heard about people waking up the morning, literally having a gift of gab, closing. This is what you need to do to make money as an insurance agent. It just so happens I'm pretty good at speaking on the telephone. I've done this job for multiple years. In addition, I have put multiple websites to the top of the search engine, pages that I have written that have gone to the top of the search engine. I'll just walk through three of these right now. At the bottom of naaip.org, sales tools, you will see from top to bottom, you'll see 3 pages specific to sales scripts. They have a lot in common. In fact, it's the same sales script, just with different words. Let's do annuities. How to sell online phone script. We scroll down a little bit more. There's one on final expense phone script, selling by phone. There's one on Medicare. That's alphabetical order, Medicare supplement phone sales, phone script. Well, if you Google any of these words, selling final expense, selling annuities, selling Medicare over the telephone, you'll see all these 3 have gone to the top of the search engine. That tells me I should be making more pages like that, such as mortgage protection and whatever else I could think of with the word selling over the phone. That's exactly how Google works. Obviously, Google considers my company, NAIP, in the sales scripts that we've written to be authority type websites and web pages on this particular subject. In fact, I'll open up a new tab here, and I'm using DuckDuckGo, but I'll switch it over, and I'll selling annuities over the phone. It's an authority page according to Google. You'll see the video here as well, how to sell annuities, good phone script. Similar will happen when you do Medicare and final expense. Let me just tell you where all these 3 sales pitches are so you don't have to use Google. How to sell online phone script. We click right here. Expert advice on phone selling. Scroll down for the exact sales pitch. In the sales profession, your job is to give people what they need, what they expect. If you do that, you will be successful. If you're not doing that, people will go elsewhere. And that's going to be in life in general. If you wake up in the morning and you give people what they need and what they want, people will generally like you. When it comes to Google, they've got this down to a science. If you do this well, you'll have very good time on site. Inevitably, Google's goal is to give people what they want. They'll put the main real companies at the top of the search engine. Inevitably, you'll end up at #1 in Google, a strong #1, which this page did end up when you Google the word how to sell annuities by telephone. So you see what I'm doing is I'm giving people a lot of good information on this, such as step #1, know the business. Step #2, the bullet points, which are your sales pitch. Step #3, know that the bank does have advantages, which is giving part of your knowledge of this business. Step #4, sell a top annuity that pays you best. My company does try to make money. We have close to 13,000 people in our system. Insurance companies tend to like us. So, there's one insurance company that wants the business, so they gave us their best contract. And based on that, we give you the best contract as well, since we want everything to be pretty easy. We give you a lot of information about this company as well, and you can see it right here. Step #5, know if MYGA, you have to know the business. A MYGA indexed variable annuity. If you could speak the lingo when you're selling something as if this is part and parcel of your life, people will think that you're an expert at the business. This is what you do for a living. Important links to bookmark, I put right here as well. And that's how this page went to #1 in Google. But the sales pitch does not really change anything from final expense, Medicare, mortgage protection, annuity. You name the product. You could be selling septic tank bacteria. If people believe that you're an expert on this, they will tend to want to deal with you. Example sales, but a Voodoo phone selling script to set 1 call appointments, 2 call closes. When you give people what they want, when people Google the word selling XYZ over the telephone, that's what they're expecting. So these type of insurance products, you literally make $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $10,000 per sale. So it definitely makes sense to make the sale. It's not the end of the world to do an appointment. In fact, it probably makes sense since you'll have substantial less cancellations and you'll have higher closing ratios if you're close by the people. But since I'm attempting to get to the top of the search engine, people are searching for the word selling over the phone. That's what I've made this page for. We'll look at the sales pitch. Hello, Mr. Jones. My name is Joe Smith of the Senior Alliance in Boca Raton. Your goal in any sales pitch is literally not to get hung up on. No matter how good you are, if people are hanging up on you right from the get-go, you have to find a different job. That's why we use a company name like the Senior Alliance. People tend to not to want to hang up on cancer kids, summer camp for cancer kids. People won't hang up on them initially. So let's give them some sort of idea that you're a good person, a charity, just trying to help out people. They won't want to hang up on you. I also mentioned in Boca Raton, which is an upper income city. I would imagine cancer kids would not be in a bad neighborhood. They're going to be, their offices or their corporate headquarters will be in a nice part of town. And that's why we use the Senior Alliance of Boca Raton in Florida, whatever company name you come up with. It mentions right here, the introduction is to be said rather rapidly. Don't stop talking. A brief moment of silence causes the annuity project or any prospect to interject. If the prospect stops and thinks, then he will wonder why he is allowing you to waste his time. Meanwhile, the prospect is somewhat thinking you are a charity. He will be somewhat nice and not yell at you and hang up. Know your prospects. It mentions here about annuity prospects of being 50 years upper income. Whatever you're selling, definitely know who you're trying to cater to. It mentions here about a commodity. Closing and selling over the phone works well with something that is concrete, something that you could touch. If it's a financial product, you cannot touch it, but you have to make it as if it's a touchable product. A very cut and dry, apples to apples, oranges to oranges. That would be that's what you have to make it out to be. Answer the prospect's questions before they ask. That happens to be the number one, not the number two, not the number three. By far the number one way to get people to listen to you and not hang up on you is to answer their questions before they ask. The person's question is, why are you calling me? He's not telling you that, but you have to know that that is his questions. Annuities from an insurance company, you explain why you're calling. At a certain point, you will ask him a open-ended, a closed-ended question where the answer will be right.